Go see it. That's it. That's the review. Okay, Sonic 3 is finally out. I'm so sorry, Philippines. And I have many thoughts, but I'll be starting with non-spoiler general ones. So, without further ado, it's the best of the three. There is so much to love and there's so much love poured into this movie. If you are a Sonic fan in any way, you deserve to see it. Every scene with Shadow is perfect. Knuckles is just as awesome as he was in the second movie. Tails frankly needed more scenes because he's grown so much and he's just our little buddy and he's the best. And Sonic's arc and character growth is just so There's also a great balance of screen time between the Sonic characters and the humans, although it is becoming clearer that the humans besides Eggman have less to do, which is obviously not a big detractor because we're here mainly for Sonic and the gang, and boy, does that third act really show why. This movie truly lives up to the hype, and I really recommend seeing it as soon as you can because there are spoilers that will ruin big moments for you. Like, don't even go into the comments, bro. Avert your eyes and run. If I had to give it a number, I'd say it's overall an 8.5 out of 10 on a first watch for me. It's got a few pacing issues and overuses some jokes, but it's also action-packed and heartfelt with so many beautiful scenes and all the characters we love and a lot more Sonic game music than the first two. Just go see it and then come back, because now we're talking spoilers in 3, 2, 1, guac! Genuinely, so much happened in this movie that I know there's stuff I'm going to forget to mention that I would have wanted to, but here we go! Shadow is the big character introduced in this movie, and right off the bat, they hit us with his escape, and it's cinema! I do think the movie did rush Sonic Team's part of the intro to get them to Shadow faster, so I mean, it's understandable why. Throughout the movie, we cut to flashbacks of Shadow's backstory with Maria, and I loved how they did this. It was a constant reminder of Shadow's pain with Maria's presence never being forgotten, and I will get to her character later. I found movie Shadow to be just one of the best portrayals of Shadow in all of Sonic media. I don't know if that's a hot take, but that's truly how I felt. It was pretty clear he was going to be redeemed, but his parallel to Sonic's arc was so good. See, two main themes were set up with Sonic regarding being a part of this new team with Tails and Knuckles, and also not losing who he is when dealing with loss. I love that they never make us forget his connection to Longclaw despite now having been on Earth most of his life. He struggled with loneliness and a sense of belonging in the first two movies, especially after losing that parental figure and having to always go on the run. But he still remained a goofy, high-spirited, and good-hearted kid. And then you bring him into the Wachowski family and then later bring in Tails and Knuckles as friends he can relate to, and he learns to heal naturally because he has these people in his life that he cares about and that care about him. Compare that to Shadow, who lost his best friend and was isolated for 50 years, constantly with the pain of that loss. In his own words, he wouldn't know what to do without Maria, and that shows in his character. The only person he has to look to is Gerald, who is dealing with losing the same person in a very twisted manner. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? Shadow is on this revenge arc because Gerald has told him Maria deserves justice, and this is what Maria would have wanted. If he had a Tails or a Knuckles in his life, maybe he wouldn't have lost himself in that rage. But that's also what makes his reflection with Sonic on the moon so impactful. I mean, Sonic, even after losing Tom, knows that Tom would still want him to do the right thing in that moment. And it's a very direct parallel to Maria telling Shadow, the light shines even though the star is gone. It's just, I love that quote so much. It made me so happy how good both of their arcs were in this. That being said, when Sonic and Shadow were against each other, it was so sick. The initial chase sequence through Tokyo was beautiful, but the super form fight was crazy. I can't believe the trailer MCU'd us in the best way with this shot, bro. Seeing Super Shadow on the big screen was incredible, but the fact that neither of them was holding back in the fight until the end made it so much better. Like, when have we ever seen these two duke it out that hard? And of course, when they did decide to team up and Live and Learn started kicking it, oh my gosh, I was jumping in my seat. I swear Lil Bro was the only other one in the theater who even understood the impact of that song, unfortunately, but I don't care, it was peak! I only wish they were longer, but what we got with them fighting all those robots was mwah, beautiful, beautiful. And the orchestral remix of the song too, bro, like, oh my gosh, they could have done that this whole time. I hope they do it for the next movie. We need more orchestral remixes of those rock Sonic songs, okay? And then they hit us with the Sonic Adventure 2 pose. Oh my gosh, I swear, that pose never gets old for me. Never. I've seen, it's been, what, the 4th iteration of it? It never gets old. Tails and Knuckles definitely stepped back in screen time for this, but I loved every moment they were there. Tails had a lot more confidence in this one, taking charge by coming up with plans and also willingly being on the field instead of going, what do you mean, we? I'm so proud of my boy! And Knuckles was really the underrated MVP of this. He came in clutch twice. First at the gun facility and then at the end. But Knuckles' scene with Sonic asking for the Master Emerald was one of my favorites. I mean, it really shows how much Knuckles has changed and the trust he places in Sonic. He did try to fight Shadow at the beginning, but he has a lot more restraint than in the last movie, and he also killed it with the humor. Like, I don't think a single joke missed for him, which I wish I could say about Sonic. I really do wish we had more scenes with Tails and Knuckles, but I'm happy with how they were portrayed and came through at the end. Also, the fact that we see those two interacting more at all is just great, you know, because each one of them has their moments with Sonic throughout Sonic media, but you don't really see those two interacting a whole lot. So I am grateful that this movie gave us more scenes with them. Eggman was such a standout in this movie. In a way, like Sonic, he also dealt with loneliness, but instead of doing it healthily, he formed a superiority complex. It was interesting to see how quick he was to try building a connection with Gerald, assuming this was the only person in the universe who could care for him and also match his intellect. I already loved his relationship with Agent Stone throughout the movie, so seeing him realize just how much Stone meant to him during and after Gerald's betrayal really hit. You can tell that a huge motivation for his decision to save Earth was to save Stone. And Stone himself was so perfect in the movie. Like, every scene with Lee was entertaining, and it made me feel so much sympathy for him when he was so desperate to save Eggman. Like, I love their relationship so much. That being said, as much as I love Jim Carrey as Eggman, I feel like the silly moments took me out sometimes, especially during the dance scene where they were stealing the second key, and the spanking scene that cut between Super Sonic and Super Shadow. I also never fully got used to how silly Gerald specifically was, especially with his backstory and plans to destroy everything and himself. It's just, I don't know, his story is so dark, but his personality is not. And I understand that part of that is to lure Eggman to be with him, but I don't know. Maybe I have to rewatch it and give it another chance. There were a few moments where I felt like tone was an issue, but I still think Jim absolutely crushed it as both Robotniks. He especially crushed his serious moments and had some insane lines. Like when Gerald told him, "You're no Maria," oh my gosh, my jaw dropped. Eggman's sacrifice in the end was also such an incredible way to end his performance in this trilogy. If it is going to be his final film, you know, we're not 100% certain if he'll be returning for 4 or not, but it works either way, you know, like as an ending for his story and Jim's just performance, I thought it was perfect. And speaking of Robotniks that died, I felt Maria was used so well to hit us in the feels. First of all, the audacity. To start the movie with her playing Live and Learn on the guitar was crazy, and it set up so perfectly to the climax's use of it, man. She really acted like a kid, and her meeting Shadow and their bond was just so adorable. I love the montage of their growing friendship, especially when she was teaching him to dance, and when they looked at the stars. And, well, that's actually related to a change that really surprised me, where Project Shadow always took place on Earth in the movieverse and not space, and Maria wasn't sick. I think it worked to make his backstory less complicated, but it does confuse me on why she's at the facility, since her parents originally let her stay on the Ark due to Gerald working on a cure for her. Like, if she's not sick, why is she here all the time? Like, do the parents just not want to pay for babysitting or something? Where are her parents, actually? Like, Gerald's alive, where are her parents? Still, losing her was a punch in the gut. And correct me if I misunderstood, but it's fascinating that they made Gerald the one ultimately at fault for her death, alongside Gunn. Like, yes, an officer did fire at them despite being told not to, but Gerald's selfishness with first stealing a quill and then wanting to steal Shadow, lying to her saying, "Gunn is trying to separate us," is what led to what occurred. Like, Gerald is really evil. Tom had so many red flags in this trailer. Like, I knew he'd be the one to get the fake out death, but I will say Shadow mistaking him for the gun commander was a great setup to his fight with Sonic. I'm glad he didn't die, because I do love him and Maddie in this universe. Alongside Eggman, they're probably my favorite humans, and I'm glad that they did something as a part of Team Sonic, even if it does feel like the movies are slowly including them less. I mean, there was a kind of meta joke with that in this movie, where while they were waiting for Sonic and the gang to return from Tokyo, they were like just trying to find other hobbies, but they were so bored. Like, I feel like even they know they don't have much to do anymore because Sonic and his friends are just, you know, they're so powerful and they're humans who can die very easily. It was weird to me how the gun commander died though. I mean, it just happened so fast, which I know is Sonic's motto, but it made me feel absolutely nothing when it happened. And that's kind of how I felt about the other main gun character too. I mean, she felt set up to be bigger than she was, but she just kind of disappears after Tom gets the second key from her. Shout out to Wade Whipple though. During the credits, I said, if Metal Sonic or Amy appears, I will scream.
Oh my god, please.
What? Who are you?
This is perfect. They are perfect. I am so excited. We're bringing Sonic CD into movie 4, and it was 100% the right call, man. Amy is such a critical member of Team Sonic at this point, and I was so happy to finally get her first look on the big screen. She's one of my favorite characters, and her design is so pretty. And Metal's design, man, like, is it 100% the same as his game one? Because it's so good, and it looks so accurate. Only thing I want to say about this is that my mom was crying because she thought Shadow died, and she was very happy when this popped up. I mean, it was clear to me that they weren't going to kill the arguably second most popular character in the franchise, but I am happy we have clear confirmation on that through this scene. I heard they were thinking of a spin-off for Shadow 2, but I wonder if it'll be on his past or on where he goes after this. I only hope that it comes out before the 4th movie because we do have a bit of a wait. I adore this movie. I made sure to rewatch 1 and 2 before seeing it just to compare, and I feel like this is a rare instance where the next movie keeps getting better than the last. Our main characters are portrayed so perfectly, minus, you know, a few missed jokes here and there, and there's just so much heart in this. I was unsure about continuing past the trilogy before watching it, but after seeing how they handled Shadow's story, I am begging for this to keep going and introduce more characters from the Sonic universe. It's one of those experiences I wish I could erase my memories for to relive and learn it. Let me know what you thought of the movie below. I mean, was there anything I missed talking about that you wanted my opinion on? Did you cry or scream in the theater? Share everything! Until next time, Pebbles out!